It's fine. We can
Are
turn
you
around.
are you ready? Okay, so I'm Maddy.
Well, hello and welcome to Insomniacs. Welcome
Hello and welcome to
to
Insomniacs in the
Insomniacs in the
morning.
My voice is mostly back and I'm a little bit sniffly. I guess I
Yeah.
should clarify that I've had
Ryan was sick. That's why we didn't do it
we
on
assume
Wednesday.
it was a cold. At parts it felt much worse than a cold, but it's pretty much just sniffly now. So that's all that matters.
That's good. I'm glad you're like mostly over it because we have a lot of news to catch up on.
We really do. And it's a good thing because guess what, guys? We started at 9 a.m. today.
I know. We started at 9.
I'm like really excited about this. I'm really impressed.
I'm impressed too. And like the reason it's because I skipped like 12 things in my morning routine is the reason that we started at 9. Like there were a lot of things that were given up in order for us to start at 9. Like wanted to take a shower, didn't. Woke up like wanted to make my coffee. I made my coffee really early because I was like, I'm not gonna be making the coffee right before the show like I normally do because that's what makes me late. So now my coffee's cold.
Well, you know what's funny? It's like I usually get up at 7:30 on the days of our morning show and still run late. And today I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get up after 8. And like,
That's what I always do.
And
Except for today, I didn't. Today I got up at 7. Today we switched. I got up at 7.
You've been getting up at 7 all week and it's been weird. It's
not intentional.
I know, but I promise, like, this is a bad thing to promise, but I'm like, Maddy, you're getting sick. That's what's happening. That's the only logical explanation.
I mean, I'm going on a vacation next week.
I really hope it happens after a vacation.
It probably will, honestly, because that happens to me almost every time I go on vacation. Because my body is like so excited to be on vacation, and then as soon as I get home,
it's like going to a convention.
Wait, you have to go back to work?
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're gonna get sick.
All your little inside-out creatures go crazy. They like hit all the panic buttons.
I don't know. So yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
So speaking of which, since you are going to be gone next week, there's gonna be no show next week.
That's right.
We don't broadcast from other countries. Okay.
Unless Ryan decides to do the show either by himself or like with someone randomly.
I mean, you guys can decide.
I've been trying to convince him to do that, but he won't do it.
The only way that would work is if Mary Ellen would do it, but she normally works at this time because she's a normal person with normal hours. So
I know.
That's it. The end.
I think Mary Ellen's proud of us. We woke up so early, Mary Ellen.
I don't think she's awake actually because I think she took the day off from work because now she's sick.
Oh wow. Okay.
She's blaming me, even though I haven't seen her in
it's your fault. To be fair, it is your fault. She got sick probably from not watching this show.
Probably.
It on Wednesday.
This plague that I have, it seems to be something that everybody's getting, so you're gonna get it soon.
You keep saying this. I don't believe you. I feel very good. I physically feel good today.
I'm glad you feel good because
except around 3 p.m. I'm gonna start feeling like shit because that's what's been happening every day. I wake up
that's because
really
you're getting
early.
up at like 7.
I know, and then at 3 I'm like, time to go to bed because my body doesn't. Like, I didn't actually sleep. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not...
But you've been working out in the morning, right? Like, that's another thing that you've been doing every single day that you wake up this early.
This is crazy. I've been waking up at 7 or like 7:30 and working out before work almost every single day this week, starting on Sunday, which is so out of character that I feel the need to brag about on this show. And it's partly because I'm going on a week-long ski trip next week because...
Okay, so can you share about where you're going? Because I know where you're going.
I don't want to like brag about it. It doesn't
matter.
So
you're going to go skiing in hell. They have the best slopes in
hell.
I'm
going skiing in hell. My parents are paying for it because my parents have enough money to pay for this, and fine, I guess I'll just fucking say it because it's weird not to.
Yeah, at this point you're making it sound like you're going somewhere crazy, but you're really not. You're just going like...
I'm going to Switzerland, which sounds really ritzy, but my dad grew up in Switzerland and he knows people there, and like...
Okay, see, that's a fact I did not know, somehow.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
What? That's like a key factor of my life,
Of your dad? Yeah. I always wondered why he kept going to Switzerland. I was like, you must really like it there.
Oh my god, wait, I didn't know that you didn't know that. That's so weird. You know everything about me. You know more about me than any other person I know,
possible.
like including my boyfriend, probably.
It is possible that you've told me in the past and I've just forgotten because
That
at
is
this
probably
point I'm
true.
retaining
That's
like
probably
31 years of memory.
I know. So okay, so yeah, my dad grew up in Switzerland, so he has connections there, and so
Connections.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're going there, and we're gonna go visit like all his old places, and I don't know. I actually went to Switzerland with my parents like 10 years ago, but I don't remember it at all, which is weird. Like I don't like. I don't know. I was like,
on you? We got amnesia. Like what?
probably. I was in high school and I was a brat, and I like
Oh,
didn't
well, that's
appreciate.
why.
I didn't appreciate the fact that my parents were paying to take me on a special trip to Switzerland to visit my dad's old school and his old house. Like I just was like a dick back then, and I was like, oh, I don't know, it seems fine.
That's exactly what I did when I was at that age.
I like I didn't appreciate like how much money was being spent for this.
I know. So... Okay, there was like that time that my parents brought me to Jamaica, and I spent the entire time like brooding and walking around the beach and like motorcycle. Okay, wait, I was walking around on the beach in motorcycle boots and like goughed out.
Came back and I was like, Ryan, it's so cool that you went to Jamaica. Like that must have been so fun. And you were like, it pretty much sucked actually. Like it pretty much was the worst. And I'd hang out with my parents, and I was just like, even at the time, I was like, it sounds really cool, Ryan.
I refused to like get into a bathing suit, and I was like, I have to wear combat boots and my goth pants. This is what being a teenager was like for Ryan.
I was the same way in Switzerland. I was like mad because my parents were like, we're meeting people, so you need to wear nice khakis and you need to like wear nice clothes. And I was like, this isn't me at all. I'm goth, and I can't believe my parents didn't let me bring any of my real clothes. I was like such a brat the whole time.
You know what? I know that there's other people that like, you know, when they're teenagers, they have great relationships with their parents and like travel a lot with them. And I'm like, why didn't we have that? Like, why were we so crazy?
Well, we like our parents now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love my parents
I like them back then.
Now I appreciate everything that they did for me. But as a kid, I was a jerk. Anyway, so my parents are being extremely kind and paying for me to go to Switzerland. And usually my dad actually goes every year and just takes my mom with him. So they usually go anyway, and this is the first time in many, many years that I've been like, can I come with you guys? And like, they were really surprised that I wanted to go because, I mean, really that says a lot about me, doesn't it?
It really does. And I mean, your mom's going to be talking to you a whole lot, but whatever.
I know. I'm going to be spending a full week with my mom, which I love my mom very much. So that's all I'll say about that.
I mean, it's like the same relationship anybody has with their mother. Where they're like, you know, like. Yeah,
I mean, you know.
Well,
person who I already spent a whole lot of time with as a kid, so
yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of togetherness.
I'm not doing anything nearly as interesting. I'm gonna probably go up to the Boston area for a day or two, but
I'm gonna be missing it, which is too bad because I'm gonna be gone, so I can't hang out.
Oh well, I'm not doing anything fun. My parents are like, we need to clean out your old bedroom and all these other rooms of the house, and we have to do it in one day flat. And I'm like, all right, crazy. Well, we'll see how this goes.
I like how we're both having parental adventures. So I mean, that's how it goes. On this show, we're gonna update each other about how.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what the whole thing's gonna be about next time because we'll have less.
Our parents.
I don't know. Next show might be crazy.
It will be.
Okay, so also coming up is Valentine's Day, which I might do a post Valentine's Day celebration because I'm not one of those people that hates on Valentine's Day because of all the reasons that people manage to find to hate on it, whether they're single or not. Like, and you know, Ben and I will probably see Deadpool together on Sunday, which is a great way to spend Valentine's Day. But when I was younger, I used to typically like get together and do like pasta dinners with my friends, and we just like hang out and eat. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Are you even going to be around? I know. I was gonna say, like, are you just like leave Zach like a tiny Valentine with Kylo Ren on it?
Oh, I should specify he's coming with me, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, my parents are paying for him to go too, which is really cool. So that's cool. So he's gonna come with me, and big relationship step. We're going to Europe together, I guess. It's gonna be a lot of togetherness for Zach. Like, we do live together, but I feel like he doesn't. We haven't yet done the like, let's go on a trip and spend an entire week together in a hotel room. So I'm a little worried about that part too, but I hope it's going to end up being really romantic and great. But yeah, so I'm kind of getting off scot-free when it comes to Valentine's Day because I'm gonna be in fucking Switzerland, so I can be like, all right, honey, let's go get dinner at the fucking fancy.
I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's like I don't know, like
good.
I mean, you are sharing a very small quarters with somebody for a very long time, but
yeah,
you know,
and there's
like,
only gonna be one laptop and a whole lot of Netflix, I guess. Like, I mean, we're gonna be skiing a lot.
Yeah,
because that's sort of the point of the trip. We're gonna go skiing.
Well, that's a good Valentine's Day too, you know?
Yeah. So like we're gonna be skiing during the day, and like the thing about skiing is that you usually get really tired by like 3 because you're exercising all day. So like it's like that, and then you pretty much just go back to the hotel and like hang out. So I'm a little like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And my parents were like, we pretty much just watch Netflix, and I was like, all right, I guess that's what we're gonna do too. I don't know.
Wait. Please tell me you guys at least have 2 rooms.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I was going to be like, that's going to be
that
a little
would
crazy.
be too much togetherness, but we're still going to pretty much be with my parents the whole time because they're going to drive us.
Your mom's going to be like, look, we have connected hotel rooms.
She's going, yeah, I know. How romantic of a trip is it really going to be?
Whoops. How did this happen?
Uh-oh. No, I mean, like, I don't know. I think my parents are probably going to want some privacy as well when it comes to that because I think normally this is a romantic trip for them.
I think you should just turn around and should be like, if you feel like
I should try to ruin it for them.
No, I was gonna say, like, if you feel like you're spending way too much time together, just start being super obnoxious and start like knocking on the walls and like making noise, raving. I think Zach will get more annoyed of that than your parents will, though.
I don't know. Actually, Zach really likes my parents like a lot.
I like your parents too.
I know everybody does because my parents are like significantly cooler than I am, and like
same with mine. I mean, she's like,
yeah, your parents are super cool.
It's like when you go in the radius of our hometown, it's like everybody knows who I am because they're like, we hang out with your mom. I'm like, good.
Your mom's really cool. That's why. So like, I'm very lucky to have like cool parents who everybody wants to hang out with. But I feel like the downside of that is that I'm like very. I grew up with them, so I'm like, I know how overbearing my parents can be. So like when it comes to me, I'm like, I don't need to be around them all the time.
Oh my god.
Anyway, too much information about my parents.
Right. We don't need to talk about your parents for any much longer. We know we love them. We love my parents too. That's their parents. That's what they do.
Yeah, let's not talk about this anymore. Tell me what the heck Heady is.
Okay, I know. Okay, first of all, Heady is an event that I covered this past weekend, right before I got sick. And I also really love that, like, right before we started the show, you're looking at the show notes. You're like, the fuck is Heady?
I don't know what it is.
You're like, why is it called Heady?
And I went to the channel and I looked for the video, but I didn't find it. Is it up there yet?
No, because I've been sick all week, so I haven't edited anything. Since I've been sick, I've just been like working from home and doing the stuff I need for the studio, and then like nothing else. That's not been good.
Though. That's exactly what you should be doing.
Right. Hold on, I gotta drink some water.
Okay. Guys, what is
Heady?
Not to cough. What is Heady? We'll never know because Ryan's drinking some water.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
I was just trying to vamp while you were drinking. I did a terrible job.
Yeah, so basically it was like a sort of like a mini festival inside a bar. And it's run by my friend Felicia, who I do makeup with at Haunted Graveyard. We both run the makeup department there. And she also is the person that usually does my hair. And so she basically started this like group where originally she and her boyfriend were trying to find places to get him to DJ because he does lots of EDM and psytrance and stuff like that, which is great. But she was trying to find him gigs, and then she started taking on this role of being his booking manager, and then started becoming like the booking manager of like all these other DJs. So now she's like made herself like this glorified agent, which is awesome because she completely did it on her own. And then she started this monthly event called Heady, which she's been trying to get me to photograph and do stuff with Atomic Blue, which is where they showcase all these artists' work because everybody comes in, they have all sorts of like paintings and like handmade shit that you usually see at like festivals. And
that's cool.
And a lot of them are like making and crafting like there while they're doing it. So like there's like it's like this crazy like mix mash of like an art gallery. So it starts as a sort of like a gala, and then like it turns into this crazy psytrance rave, and like it filled. There's like 200 people there. It was crazy. And I mean, it's really cool. It's like I told her, I'm like, I feel like I'm at a music festival, except it's like indoors in the middle of the winter. And she's like, that's sort of the idea, is like, I'm trying to do this thing where we do this like once a month so we can kind of keep that vibe going when it's cold and desolate outside.
That's so awesome, because you're always telling me that like it's hard to find cool stuff to do in Connecticut, but this is like
and this was down in
cool thing that
right now she's doing it in if you're in Connecticut, it's in New Haven. I'll be posting like a music video from it pretty soon, featuring one of the artists, Colomo, who let me use his tracks, which is awesome. But it was really cool, and I was like, it was really fun to be there and do that. And I think Felicia has the right idea, and just kind of gathering these people that spend a lot of time at music festivals, but obviously that's not going to happen when it's like snowing outside, because they're normally outdoor events. So she's kind of figured out a way to do it on a much smaller scale. She actually throws festivals during the summer, and so she managed to make a business out of this, which is crazy. She's younger than I am. She's like 26, 27, something like that. And I can't believe like that she has managed to build something so big so fast. Because I remember when she was first building it a couple years ago, like it was just at like a bar down the street where I live now. And she there was maybe like 10 people that would show up to these things at most.
I remember hearing about this.
Yeah. So that's what it was. And it was really cool. And the photography and a video will be up on Atomic Blue hopefully soon. I'm hoping that maybe over the weekend I'll have some time to work on stuff, because it didn't happen this week. So
well, you're gonna be able to work on it over the weekend, because it's not like we're gonna be doing anything else. Like, I'm not gonna be here being like, Ryan, come over and do something, because that is what we were gonna do originally. We were gonna film GENO next weekend.
Right, but that's another thing we're doing. Okay, so first of all, Atomic Blue, there's like actually stuff happening right now. GENO is one of them.
We videos up.
I know, we just cast all of GENO.
Well, it's actually been mostly cast for a while. We casted the last person.
Right.
We already had Tracer and Vicky cast, but we needed to cast one last role.
No, we had to recast Ava.
Right, exactly. That was the part that we had to figure out, because we had actually also already cast Ava, but then the girl playing the part moved away after we had already started filming, which is what that test shot was from that we tweeted earlier. We filmed an entire scene, and then unfortunately our friend moved away and she couldn't be in the show anymore. So we've been trying to make this show happen for a long time.
But I'm super excited about it. And if any of you who are watching the show right now watched any of the Demon series that we posted from our childhood, there's a couple
this is going to be exactly like that.
No, it's not. I was going to say there's a couple familiar faces in it from D2.
I mean, I guess it's worth saying. Like, we've talked about Demon a lot on this show because it's really hilarious. It's that terrible X-Men parody that we made when we were 15. And we're still friends with everybody that was in that movie. Like, for some reason, all of those people still wanted to hang out with us.
Well, I mean, we're still friends with a lot of people that we work with creatively.
So, like, all of those people, we basically just were like, what if we asked all of the people who were in Demon and D2 to be in this other space-themed web series that we want to do about aliens and spies and stuff in the future? And for some reason, they all agreed to do it. So it kind of seems like it's actually happening. And I bought some, like, wacky lights and stuff. So
we should probably clarify this is going to be a low-budget, like, 90s-esque sci-fi TV show.
Like, in places that...
it was funny, too, when we were talking about how we were going to make it. I was like, we should make it look like it was, like, made in the 90s, because that's when we initially started writing it. That's why it's so weird. Like...
Well, yeah, but also, we don't have any money. So anyway, the spaceship is going to just be at my apartment. And I'm going to try to make my apartment look like a spaceship. I'm going to try. And
I don't know.
If it looks shitty, we don't care.
We could do like Demon, the first Demon, where we're like, honestly, we're at a press conference, and it was like...
It's going to be better than Demon, because Demon was like a press conference happening clearly in your living room with like a piano and like a window and like a coffee table.
Like the cats were there, whatever.
Any of that stuff. Like, we could have at least moved some furniture, and we just didn't. And I like don't even know why we didn't try. So for this, I'm going to actually move my coffee table out of the way. That's one thing I'm planning to do.
Well, really, honestly, you can build a set out of anything as long as you kind of clear out the stuff that makes it look like a bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, because there's still walls. Like, it's just like what you decide to do with those walls and the space that you have. So
So we're going to try to do that. We talked about it on this show a few weeks back, and no one but us cared, but we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Yay!
Maybe someday we'll kickstart it if we feel confident enough about that. But we don't feel confident enough to like start this show and like have guests on it because we never like
ask people for money for something that we cannot successfully seem to make a pilot episode of.
I mean, we have enough issues getting up every week and doing this show. So, I mean, like...
That's true, but also GENO is very complicated because it requires us to, like, build a spaceship set and, like, cast other actors. It's not just the two of us waking up early for a phone call. Like, we can do this barely, but, like, I don't know. GENO is going to be kind of tricky, but I believe in
I'm excited. I'm excited because it seems like we're having some forward momentum with the channel right now, which is great. Jess and I just shot a whole bunch of Retro-Spectives, so I have to edit those in addition to everything else. And we're starting some more stuff.
Don't, stress yourself out. It's not like anybody's...
I'm not really. I mean, like, I'm kind of going with the flow of things, and it's been nice.
That's good.
Something that I really want to start doing again, and I haven't quite figured this out yet, is I do miss vlogging a lot, but I don't want to spend as much time as I did both vlogging and editing it, because we had an old vlog on the channel with like 7 people that didn't really know each other.
Yeah.
And also like gave me like so much footage that I'd be like editing it for hours every day. And I was like, I want to restart a co-vlog, maybe with you, maybe with little Katie, maybe with all 3 of us.
It takes so much time though. Like I used to have a vlog too called What's Going On, which I know people really miss, and people have like asked me what happened to it. Honestly, it takes so much time to edit a vlog. Like people don't...
Well,
that's why it's just us shooting the shit, and we don't edit it at all.
No, we don't. But
when you're on a vlog, it's just you talking, so you have to edit out all the pauses. You have to actually listen to it and be like, "What's actually interesting? What's the narrative thread of what I'm saying?" And
what's kind of funny is I was thinking of a new way to maybe make it interesting, and I was like, "What if we did something like if say there was like 3 people on it, and I'm like, everybody submits to be literally like a 50-second clip every day, and they can't give me anything more than that. They have to choose which one they're going to send me, and I just don't edit it. Like I just put it on the timeline. I'm like, this is it. This is like you get like 1 3-minute vlog a day with everybody, tiny clips, and it's like, this is the most interesting thing I did today. You talk about it for like 20 seconds, and that's it. Requires minimal amount of work for everyone involved.
You could do that, but we pretty much do that on this show, and nothing interesting ever happens to me, as you know. Literally every day, I sit at my computer for 8 hours. And then after work, I sit at my computer for another 4 hours.
Yeah, but that was the fun thing about the vlog, though, is it got us up and made us do things. So
that's true. It does get you to leave your house.
It does, even if it's like you're like, I'm going to take a walk for 10 minutes. So... like, because like, you got to keep your life interesting. I think you should
just do that, because you have a way more interesting life than I do, frankly.
I feel like I don't, but
you
whatever.
Do. You're constantly leaving the house, and you have a dog, and you're like, I just hiked Everest with Lyra today. Here's a picture of us at the peak. And I'm like, oh my God, Ryan and his dog. That's like you guys every day, and you're like, my life is boring. And I'm like, every fucking day you're uploading like 17 pics of you and your dog hiking a mountain. I'd never do that. I've never done that. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Like me going to Switzerland next week is like the most exciting thing I've done in literally years. So yeah. Anyway, you read this book that sounds like a self-help book or something.
It's actually a Zen book. I have it over here.
Is it like a meditation kind of a book?
No, it's just about like the way you look at your life. It's called Zen and the Art of Happiness, and I'm probably going to get you a copy because I read it from cover to cover.
I'll read it.
My
Just
boss.
Give me your copy. I'll give it back to you later.
Yeah, I was actually thinking I was going to do that, but my boss gave this to me, and she said, she left a little note in here that said, "Here's to being in the light," because she gave it to me right around the end of November when I was starting to have my depressive episodes.
Yeah,
and it's really great because it kind of goes over this like way of thinking that is very Zen, where you don't really like stress out so much, and it goes over how to not do that, and how much stress doesn't matter, and how much stress you create in your head. And it's just like, and it's like you just need to let it all go, because it's like 90% of the time it's all shit that you're making up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Being angry about bad things that happen, or like anything that happens, like kind of look at it and just like kind of like generally thank the universe, which I don't, that may not be everybody's cup of tea, but like kind of like looking in a positive light, like at one point, he was writing about like how he bumped his head on something, and instead of being angry about it, he was like, "Thanks for reminding me to not jump at this point so I don't hit my head on this thing, and it's sort of like kind of being like aware of your surroundings and stuff like that, and kind of like looking at things and immediately turning them into a positive light, even if they're already in a positive light.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to do that though.
Oh, it was really funny because I was like, I really want to try and start subscribing to this notion that I just read about, and I immediately got sick. So I just haven't done anything at all. But
I mean, like I kind of do this too, where I'll read a book and I'll be like, this has some really good ideas in it, and then I completely forget about all the ideas before I apply any of them to my life. Like I'll read it and be like, this sounds great, and then I'll like put the book away and completely forget about it. Like that's usually my problem when it comes to stuff like this. But the counterpoint to that is that like usually I try to reread the book or like have a bookmark in a spot that I like, or like have a bookmark on my computer with an excerpt or something, and then I'll like go back and look at that again and at another point and be like, oh right. Also, I'm like the type of person who like writes down quotes and like hangs them up in my house. I do that.
That's something you get from your mother.
It is. Definitely is. Although I don't know that my mom hangs up inspirational quotes. I definitely do because I'm a huge cornball. So,
yeah, but that's fine. I mean, you're a writer.
I have an inspirational quote like by my desk that's from this guy who worked on the Star Wars prequels, which are terrible. And he wrote this, he like said this quote on a podcast that I listened to that was like, make a bad film, write a bad book, have a bad blog. That will be 1,000 times better than the great blog that your friend hasn't started yet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's the quote that I have on my desk. I just read it aloud to you. And like, I just look at that and I'm like, I need to remember this because it doesn't matter how bad the stuff is that you're doing as long as you're doing something, which is why this show is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, no, that's kind of true to me. So anyway, if you want to remember the stuff in this book, honestly, like write it down and put it on your desk.
I really should. And like, it's only like 100 pages, so it's an easy read. And I felt really good reading it afterwards, and I was like, I get it, and I get this idea of like not stressing out and all that, and how so much of the shit that you and I especially like freak out about because we spend 90% of our day like messaging each other about all our problems all day long, and how like they just don't fucking matter, and like
but it's in the moment. I always
exactly, and that's like trying to take that in that moment feeling and make it something positive, and it's really good. I'm gonna let you read it when I see you next.
Okay, cool. Also, you watched some sort of Batman thing. All these news tips are you.
Tell me about Batman. This last one's just me, and I'm just gonna. We talked about it last time on the show when I said that movie, it was a couple of shows ago where I was talking about Batman Bad Blood, where it's the first animated film to feature Batwoman, and it finally came out this past weekend, so we rented it on Amazon. And it was pretty awesome. It is the like third movie in the Robin trilogy that they've been animating. So there was like the Court of Owls, and then the one where Damian becomes part of the family. And this one was just sort of about like Batwoman, which was kind of awesome. And I'm not going to really awesome. Like talk about it for too long because we already talked about it before. But I want to confirm that it was a great movie, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying the fact that Batwoman was featured in something.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
and
cool
they kept all the stuff
getting acknowledged outside of just
right, and they kept everything canonical in there too. So she was like, like her dad's ex-military, and she's gay, and she's dating Renee Montoya in the show, which is
okay, cool.
Which is awesome. Like I didn't know if they would translate that to screen.
Broke them up or something. I haven't read that far yet.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I refuse to believe that Renee Montoya is with Batwoman forever at the end. Yeah,
but so like they kept all that, which was awesome. And it's like you never know when it goes to animation if they're going to keep those things. But this is a different century. This isn't 30 years ago where like we just
or
nobody
10
talked
years
about
ago.
it. Yeah, or like 2 years ago. Like
oh man, yeah.
But so I was really excited about that, and I definitely want to recommend everybody go and watch it. Anyway, let's talk workout tips. Give you something good.
Okay.
I'm going to just go on a limb here to say I have not worked out since last Friday.
Well, you were sick. So
I know.
I don't even know if you should be working out yet, honestly.
Well, I have the weights and I'll do some like light stuff. But also, we got snow and I shoveled all this heavy snow. So first I couldn't like work out except for cardio because like my back was so sore. Yeah. And then I got sick for a week and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, if you get sick, you're not really supposed to keep working out. I mean, you can do some stuff, but you're not You're not really
Okay, well,
supposed
we
to.
already had this argument
Anyway.
because I was like, I think you should do some light exercise since you're not feeling well. And you were like, I don't think that's how it works, Ryan.
Anyway, I can't. I want to share like a new workout tip, but I don't really know how to demonstrate it on the camera. Okay, I'll share a different one that's going to be a little bit easier to demonstrate.
Oh wow, I'm glad you retconned that real quick.
I did because I was trying to remember like a workout routine that I could do, and I that's not going to work. So here I'll move the camera down. So the thing I'm going to tell you about is chair dips. Do you ever do these?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, cool. So like basically you put the backs of your hands on a chair.
Oh yeah, I do know what you're talking about. I do
like
those.
It's like kind of a practice push-up type of a deal. And so like you put the backs of your hands on a chair. I mean, this is like one of those things that on the audio only version of this show is just not going to be visible. And I'm sorry, guys. But just Google chair dips, guys. Google chair dips.
She's literally like putting her hands on the chair and then she like basically does a squat.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So like you put your hands behind yourself in like a backwards right angle, and then you do a squat.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
So that's a really good workout move, and it's also really hard to do if you're me and you don't have that much upper body strength.
Yeah.
So
I think most people don't.
Like 3 sets of 8. I mean, like for me, that's a lot because I find chair dips really hard to do. But I've also seen workouts that are like 3 sets of 50 chair dips, and I'm like, really, 50 fucking chair dips?
That's
all right.
crazy.
I've done that before, but usually I do the first 50, and then I'm like, I want to die. And then I wait like 10 minutes, and I'm like, all right, time for the second 50. And then maybe I do like 20, and I'm like, well, now my arms are going to fall off. So, do what you can.
It's funny that you were like chair dip. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's like part of my regular routine.
Well, they're called chair dips. I mean, also if you have a weight bench, sometimes that's a better height than a chair.
Yeah, sometimes I use a weight bench for that, but usually I would use the weight bench for crunches and actual weights.
Yeah.
Like so.
The good thing about chair dips is that you can just do them even if you have no exercise equipment at all in your home. That's what's the best thing about them. It's similar to push-ups, although honestly, whenever I do push-ups, I get like the worst rug burn on my hands. Does that happen to you? Like if I'm doing a push-up and on a rug?
I mean, I don't have rugs. I haven't had rugs in years.
I have wall-to-wall carpeting in my apartment, so it's unavoidable unless I like went into the kitchen.
Sometimes I get wood burns, but whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, my recommendation for that is that I have, well, technically Zach has, but he literally never uses them, so they're mine now. Those perfect push-up bars.
Oh yeah,
you just put the bars on the ground, and then you do push-ups with these bars. And this is another tip. I don't know why I'm sharing 2 tips. Fuck it.
Why not?
Another tip is that if you don't have push-up bars, you can just put a couple weights on the ground and do a push-up off of the weights. Because
that is a good one.
Then you won't get rug burn or wood burn or whatever, especially if you have like weights like these with a little coating on them and they're like comfortable on your hands. Anyway, that's cool.
Those were some good tips.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I'm totally unprepared today. I made you go first for a reason.
Yay! Well, I had 2, so you don't have to give one if you don't want to.
Well, since we were talking about the workout bench, if you can get a workout bench that can slant, so you're like, how do you describe this? Like literally like at a diagonal, doing crunches that way, like really just your lower abdomen.
Abdomen.
I know I said that really fast. Abracadabra. Oh my god. Fuck colds.
Yeah, I don't have a weight bench that slants. However, and I think I've talked about this on the show before, you can do those crunches where you're lying on your back and you put your legs straight up in the air so your body's like a right angle.
That's actually
and then you like try to lift your butt up. That's a good lower abdomen one. And like I don't have an adjustable weight bench. I don't have anything fancy here. I have a shitty weight bench that my mom found by the side of the road.
Down, so it's great. I mean honestly, like since I haven't been able to do a lot of the weight stuff, when I have been able to work out since like after the shoveling thing, I've just been jumping on the exercise bike a lot. And I mean like it may be costly, but get an exercise bike, guys. They are so great. You can get your daily cardio in and it's like, it's so easy.
I hate Exercise bikes. I would never give somebody this advice.
No,
you are
I love
like
them.
me and you hate exercise bikes. Just download a bunch of like kickboxing and Zumba videos from the internet.
Yeah, okay, Zumba's great.
I love those.
So much Zumba.
I've always hated exercise bikes.
I love exercise bikes because I'll like put on a movie or something, and I'll like sometimes I'll play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, it's kind of up to what makes you excited about moving around. Like for me, I would much rather dance around. If that's not you,
I mean, I love doing that
probably...
without exercise involved.
But I think some people hate it. Like some people are like, I feel silly dancing. I feel self-conscious. I feel like I hate my body and I'm too aware of it. If that's you, an exercise bike might be a better way to go because it's so much more straightforward.
Right. And
also,
you it can become like
you don't need to focus on what you're doing. You just got to keep moving your legs forward, and that's it.
If you have like Netflix or Hulu or whatever, you can start being like, this is gonna be like my exercise show, so I'm gonna put this on while I work out, regardless if there's an exercise bike or not.
Yeah, that's what
I highly
my mom
recommend
does.
That's how I get through all these terrible CW superhero shows. I'm like, I put it on in the background, and so if I miss something, I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, that's what my mom does too. She like watches shitty television while she's on the Nordic track, and that works for her. For me, I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that, but she doesn't like workout videos at all. She just doesn't like them. So like for her, she has to be on something.
I don't mind workout videos, but I get bored of them.
Most people are.
And also, if I'm going to dance around, usually I just end up putting on music I like and dancing around by myself, and sometimes with Lyra.
I should clarify. I will put on a video, like an exercise video, and then I'll put on my own music and I'll mute the video.
Okay, that's smart. That is much smarter.
So then they do exercise in the video and then I do them.
Even though it's probably like completely offbeat, but you know.
Yeah, I just ignore the beat that they're doing it to. I look at whatever moves they're doing. I do them to the beat of my own music.
Okay, there you go.
And just
this is what DDR has taught us.
Yeah, so like I just kind of look at the video and I'm like, oh, they're doing that dance move? Okay, cool. And like if it's a move that I don't like, I'll literally make up my own moves because I'm that fucking cool.
I mean, that's a good way to get your cardio in though.
Yeah, so like as long as I'm dancing around, I'm like, whatever. And I put on music that I love, so I get really excited about it. It's fun. You can make it fun.
All right, let's talk about some of this long stream of morning news, and I'll let you take this one off because you know a lot more about it than I do.
Powerpuff Girls is rebooting, guys, which would make me really excited.
Except it's exactly the same.
The reboot looks identical to the original Powerpuff Girls, and again, that would be exciting. Except that none of you have probably seen the Powerpuff Girls in a while. So just so you know, all the Powerpuff Girls are on Netflix right now, like all 6 seasons, and like. My like recommendation, or maybe not, is for people to rewatch the Powerpuff Girls. Like,
no, it still stands up. It's fun, but it's not
fun, but it's so basic. And Brian and I were talking about this yesterday, and I'm not saying basic in like the slang term,
like a basic bitch.
Yeah, like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying it's simplistic. I'm saying it's straightforward. I'm saying it's boring is too mean, but like it's so simple.
You
like
have to remember,
every
this is when
episode
cartoons
is like,
were starting to like evolve. So it was at the very beginning of that.
Yeah, like the show came out. The show started like 15 years ago.
I think it was presented on Cartoon Network when they would do those cartoon pitches like they did with Adventure Time, and Kids Next Door would be like, here's like 6 shorts. Tell us which one you like the most and vote for it. Yeah. And I think Powerpuff Girls was the winner of that one.
Yeah. And so like it started a really long time ago, first of all, and like long time ago in terms of cartoon history, because now we have stuff like Adventure Time and regular show, and we have all these animes that are played on TV.
And we have Steven Universe.
We have Steven Universe, which is like the thing that I was building up to that's like the best one. And like Steven Universe, I was saying this to Ryan yesterday when we were talking about this. I feel like Steven Universe is something that is probably inspired by the Powerpuff Girls in some ways that are pretty significant. Like it has a 3-woman superhero team on it, and they're all different colors and they all have different personalities. And like that's a pretty strong similarity. I mean, obviously Steven Universe is also inspired by Sailor Moon, which is another really important like female dominated superhero team, which is like a historical important thing that like we have these shows that we can look to and be like, these are important examples of our history in what we watch.
Especially in animation and children's shows.
And like She-Ra is another one that we go back to on this show a lot because we both really like it. Mm-hmm. So like all of those shows are really important, but like we've come a long way, and I feel like Steven Universe is indicative of that. Like there's more racial diversity on Steven Universe, and the plots are really complicated on Steven Universe,
And
but
the
still
Steven
in a
Universe
way,
episodes are like 10 minutes each. They're not longer than that.
which is how long the Powerpuff Girls episodes were. They were really short. They were all like 12 or 15 minutes or something. So Steven Universe and also Adventure Time and stuff like Regular Show and whatnot have shown that you can sort of be intelligent about the stories that you tell within that format and like actually kind of do something interesting and boundary pushing. And by comparison, Powerpuff Girls just feels like a show for toddlers. Like it feels like a baby could watch it. It's so much more simple in comparison. And like, I don't know. So anyway, I watched the first teaser for it and like, it didn't really make me feel that excited. I mean, it could still be really good, but so far I'm like, guys, you need to step it up, honestly. Like it's not, you can't just do the same thing. It can't just be, what if 3 little girls fought bad guys? Like that's funny, like the whole
didn't
concept.
they reboot it already and turn it into anime for a little while?
I don't remember that.
I think that was the thing that happened. Like I think there was like a Powerpuff Girls anime.
A bunch of fan art that everybody drew.
No, it was like a legitimate show. I'm gonna send it to you later. I'm pretty sure like Ben and I had watched it at some point where we're like, what's happening?
That's like a Powerpuff Girls 10 years later kind of a deal where they were like,
I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're right. But this is a reboot that is going back to the exact same show that it already was.
Right. And I mean, it's basically as if they're making more episodes, except it's been like 15 years. So
yeah, which is a weird time for them to make more episodes. But
I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not like when they went back and remade My Little Pony and they completely changed the format into something new and different.
Well, that's kind of cool that they did that. I mean, for all the baggage of My Little Pony culturally now.
Right. I know.
No one was expecting that to happen, but but I mean, at the time it was really cool that they like went back and took this property that everybody had forgotten about, which is My Little Pony from the 80s, and they were like, let's completely make a new show that's inspired by this concept.
And you know, like, they could do a lot of stuff like that where it's like they could just take something that was made forever ago and kind of update it and upgrade it. And it doesn't look like they're doing that with Powerpuff Girls. It just kind of looks like crisper versions of that. But you know what? Let's give it a chance, I guess, and see, because we're both gonna watch it anyway and see like
yeah, well,
if we actually like it or not.
Like, for sure, I'll definitely check it out.
So how is Bayonetta in Smash? Because I have not downloaded her yet because she's like obscenely more pricey than any of the other DLC for some reason.
$7 or $8.
They're like, would you like to buy the music too? And I'm like, no, it's Super Smash Brothers. Like, yeah, except nobody cares. Like,
I really enjoyed playing as her. I mean, I don't think she's as easy to use as Ryu and Cloud, so I don't know that she'll be as popular right away. But she's really fun. She's really fast. Her like, she has this move where she's like crouching and shooting her gun legs, and it's really, really
god!
Cool.
I'm gonna do the chair squats.
Yeah. So Bayonetta does that while shooting people with her gun legs. I don't even know how to describe her moves. Also, like she has moves where she uses her magical hair to like have a dragon punch. And I paused it and I was like, how naked are they going to make Bayonetta? And I totally paused it and like did the little pan around. And like, honestly, they have changed her costume. Like they have covered her up more.
Game, you know?
And like ordinarily her costume has like diamond cutouts up the back and you can like see the top of her butt kind of like not.
But they would have to change that too because there's children playing this game.
First of all,
they actually decided to make her more naked. That's actually the direction they
took. It's crazy. She's just wearing a bikini.
They were like, let's just Black Widow this, like whatever.
So no, they cover her up. So like if people were wondering about how they were going to make her more appropriate for Smash Brothers, that's how they did it. They cover her up. Also, I think like a lot of her moves are less ostentatious. I mean, this stuff doesn't really bother me. Like I actually don't really think that Bayonetta is inappropriate for kids because I don't think that seeing something sexual is inherently bad. Like also kids kind of seek that stuff out anyway when they're ready. They're gonna Google it anyway and you probably can't stop them.
Well, I mean, it's like
to me, I'm like, it's weird that you're even trying because if a kid is interested in looking at a naked lady,
I'm sure it's gonna be the same way. Yeah, like I was gonna say, it's probably gonna be the same way that like I was when I was a kid, and I'd be like, "Oh, those Altered Beast guys, they're so sexy when they like power up." And like, you know,
you like look up a billion Google images.
But you don't really understand what that feeling is. You're like, why can't I stop looking at the Altered Beast boys? But you know, so like, you know, so it's got to be like something like that where kids are looking at it and they're like, let me pause.
Check out
or like, you know, people that like pause and they're trying to look up Peach's dress or whatever, and it's like,
really can't do stuff like that anymore. Like,
no.
I only really noticed this because I was trying to do it with Bayonetta because I was curious about what they changed. And I haven't done it with any of the other characters yet. But for Bayonetta, at least, I was trying to like pause it and do the panorama thing where you can like go around the character's entire body. They have made it so that you really can't do that anymore. Like you can't move the camera very far.
And probably because of that reason. I mean,
so like I was like trying to pan it around so that I could look at the back of Bayonetta, and it just wouldn't even let me look at her at all. And I was like, all right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like try to do it at some point. Like pause it and try to look at characters. I do know that like what's Rosalina? If you try to look up her skirt, it's just the universe inside or something. I haven't looked up her skirt yet. Anyway, they put a galaxy up there. So like if you try to look up Rosalina's skirt, it's just like the blackness of space.
Well, I mean, I think that's like actually canon though. Like Rosalina has like space in her dress or something. Like she's got the whole universe in her hand. I don't know. It's Rosalina. Yeah. She's a weird character, and I kind of love her for that.
Yeah, she's amazing. So anyway, they've made it so that you really aren't seeing anything at all. Because Super Smash Brothers is like G-rated. It's like you can try to sexualize the characters in Super Smash, but they're gonna do their best to make sure that you can't. I don't know.
That's true.
Anyway, as a character, I think Bayonetta is gonna be really cool, but like she's not easy to use. I'll say that much. She's really fast. And fast characters I think are sort of harder than characters that are more well-rounded, where like they kind of have everything going for them. And in my experience, Cloud and Ryu have been more like that, like easier to use. Although Cloud has some interesting moves. He's got that charge up for the limit break, which is cool.
Right.
But
Cloud's honestly too good for his character, but you know, yeah,
Cloud is.
I'm like, and it's like I download him and I like playing as him, but I just am not a Final Fantasy VII person. So like, I'm like, well,
I'm not into it, so I don't really care about Cloud. But playing as Ryu is fun. I like Street Fighter, so I think it's cool that he's there.
I do too. I just wish there was also Chun-Li, but you know, that's just me.
Honestly, I wish they
would have been
Chun-Li.
more interesting if it was like Chun-Li. I would actually be more happy if it was Cammy, but I realize that's even less likely than anything else. It is
much less likely. Chun-Li is probably who they would have gone with if they were going to pick a female character just for like historical reasons, because I think they wanted the recognizability of Ryu. But
well,
like,
maybe by the next Smash they'll include more of these characters. This Smash roster has been so huge, and like I still feel like they could have added more, but that's like a whole nother conversation that we don't have time for today.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Pokemon?
Well, I mean, this is going to be brief, and I guess while we're on the topic of Nintendo, but I saw this awesome commercial during the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl commercials this year were like 90% like catered to nerds and geeks, which was like a new conquest for the Super Bowl.
Because superheroes are cool now.
I mean, it was like all superhero trailers and like video games.
There's like 65 Marvel movies.
Oh my god! And it like the DC that's doing everything, and like TMNT. It was like a lot, and then Janelle Monáe was there. I was like, what's
oh my god, yeah! But I wanted her commercial to be like 1,000 times longer.
I just wanted her to be the halftime show, but that's just me.
Me too. Although Beyonce was awesome, I will say that.
So there was like this. Beyonce's always awesome.
I know that's not a topic on this show, but it
is not. But I will say that Beyonce is probably like she should just do all the Super Bowl halftime shows. Probably.
I don't know why.
She should just do all the shows. She should actually be president. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Pokemon.
So there was like this epic trailer they showed during the Super Bowl commercial break that I didn't even realize was a Pokemon commercial at first, because they were like amping you up.
They intentionally make it seem like it's not going to be a Pokemon commercial, but then
they apparently dropped it like throughout the whole thing.
It's like a live action commercial that's set in a world where Pokemon are real, and it like shows you what football would look like in that world, and it shows you what different things would look like in that world, and it's like a short film.
And it's so great. And at the end, they're like, cool. The football players are running out. And it's like, be the best that you can, or like whatever the lyric was.
Yeah, it says like no one ever was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
On the wall. I've watched this commercial several times.
I know, right? And like, so they run out, and like it turns into a Pokemon battle. I'm like, this is so epic. And they were like, Pokemon, like hashtag Pokemon 20. I'm like, what is that? So of course I Google it, and I go to the website Pokemon 20, and it's like literally like submit your favorite like Instagram picture of like you and Pokemon pictures.
Pokemon. Like Ryan's like, oh my god, is it a new Pokemon game?
No, it was like something like far more ridiculous than that. Like I was like, I couldn't even believe that that's what it was. I was like, what? And they're like
mad. You were like Maddie, I don't understand why.
Why do they spend money on this website? Like, It's just like all Instagram pictures, and then like, if you haven't played these games, you probably should, and here's a link to buy them. And I was like,
and you were like, but I have already. I already have all these.
You're like, who are you catering to? Like, I don't actually know.
I tried to explain this to you before, and if it didn't make sense then, it's not going to make sense now. But it's just like a brand awareness thing where they just want to remind you
that like Pokemon's like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Pokemon's
spending money just to like keep Pokemon in people's memory, even though they don't have any new games.
They don't even need to do that. Like, it's literally everywhere. It's like, okay,
yes and no. Like,
and I keep saying this, like, because like when we were kids, like there was no. Like, we were just like teenagers. We were like 13, 14. Let's be real.
That, by the way, I don't agree with. So people can tweet angrily at Ryan about this. Ryan claims that when we were kids, Pokemon stuff was hard to find. I just don't believe you because Pokemon was not as easy as it is now. I remember Pokemon being everywhere when we were kids.
I mean, like after like a year or two, yeah. But like at first, it was not. Like there was not as much merchandising.
Were you looking for like James figurines?
No, I was looking for like Pokemon figurines.
Are there any James figurines?
I mean, mostly back then it was just like Pikachu stuff. But anyway, so my point being is that like you can't go anywhere without seeing Pokemon. So I was like, okay, why did we have a reminder of this? Like everyone knows it exists. Like kids now are still watching it. So
I think we might be the exception. I think that perhaps you feeling like you can't go anywhere without seeing Pokemon is just you being inside your own apartment.
I mean, like,
I actually think other people don't talk about Pokemon 24/7. I think we do.
All right, let's move on.
I'm just saying, man.
I don't have action figures of everything everywhere. Don't worry about it, guys.
Well, you do though. And it's great.
So hashtag rip Twitter.
Yeah, RAP Twitter, rest in peace Twitter. Are we talking about this? Twitter is actually like fucking up a lot.
I know, and like I do want to talk about it because you and I are like very vocal and
Twitter.
present on Twitter.
Yeah,
more than any other social media that we use.
Twitter is on the brink of death at this point because like I don't know, their stocks are going down, their user base is rapidly declining, and like a lot of that is because of all the Twitter harassment stuff. Like people see Twitter as a negative place, and they're not wrong. Like,
no, they're correct.
Really bad. And Twitter keeps trying to do all these changes. Like they introduced this like safety council, and they are like, "We're gonna finally start
Jedi."
caring.
Like what?
But it's like 2 years too late for that. And I'm like, really, Twitter? You're like getting around to this now? You guys are so behind.
They
but
really
I feel
are.
Kind of bad for them. I mean, insofar as I can feel bad for rich tech industry bros.
Well, but I guess like what they're trying to know is that they're like, we're just going to make it so you can't see all the news feeds. Like, we're just going to put the popular stuff up at top. And
that's what Facebook does. They're doing what Facebook does.
I know, and I don't use Facebook anymore for that reason.
I know.
Actually, that's not true. I make like a couple custom feeds so I can like keep up to date with certain people that like I want to keep up with. But like, nobody else gets that.
I don't even do that. The only reason I use Facebook is like to share stuff for work.
Yeah, I mean that's mostly what I use it for too.
And
like,
I can't delete my Facebook because I have to have it for work because my account is an admin on the Mary Sue page, so I have to keep it.
Well, I'm assuming what's going to end up happening is like Instagram is probably going to make the leap now and become like the top platform or something else new. I don't know. I mean, like Instagram's the only thing I can think of that's like used as much as Twitter and Facebook is right now.
Yeah, but I mean, people love Vine. People like Periscope.
I love Periscope. I'm not a big fan of Vine because I'm just like, it's like
not long enough.
Like
Periscope is a little bit more accessible.
And over and over. Like everybody just wants to do like Vine's the place where you make really shitty jokes all day and like quick cuts. And I'm like, okay, none of this is good. Like I know that
there's like occasional Vines that are so good.
Oh no, I know, but like that's what everyone tries to emulate, and it's so annoying that everybody else is trying to do the same thing.
I know. The people who are good at Vine can stay. All 5 of the people who are really good at Vine can stay. Everybody else needs to go.
I mean, like I don't know. I feel like we have all these social media tools that we don't use correctly for marketing, and it's like everybody just kind of wants to emulate and be each other. I'm like, you have so many options to do so many things that could be new and interesting with these, but it never turns out that way. All right, I'm just being a dick right now.
Yeah,
whatever.
A little bit, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I put it out there.
I'm
you
not
can
going to disagree with
tweet at me. Just don't include Maddy in it because she's not going to give a shit. So
I don't give a shit. But also, like, I feel like what you're essentially saying is like a directive that people cannot follow because you're like,
hello, where'd you go? Oh no, we froze. Where's the chat thing? Hey Google Hangouts, do you want to work for me? That'd be cool. Da, 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 this is the Ryan show. Maddie's like a little face in the corner that you can't see, but I'll share it with you guys so you can see it. This is, oh no, it's not going to show you. Oh, well, okay, cool. I wonder if Maddie's okay because she's not responding to the chat either. Well, we got this far, guys. We got far enough to think that maybe this would have worked. Maybe. I guess this is what we get for starting early. Is we end up breaking the whole thing. How is this? Like, seriously? Come on. Oh, Maddie's gone. I'm just gonna re-add her, guys. Well, stay tuned with our technical difficulties of bullshit. Okay, Maddie's acting like she's still in the chat, and I'm like, you're not in here anymore. You're God. So anyway,
everything crashed.
That was crazy. I like kept on talking all the way through that. That was pretty great. Yay! I was like, we made it so far. We almost did it.
Oh man. Okay. Wait. What else do we want to do before we leave?
Oh my God. All right. So I'm gonna just go right into Stan. We're gonna delete all this Batman stuff because we had enough Batman.
All right.
Let's talk these last. Okay, so we're gonna talk these last 4 topics, and then do probably foods, I guess. I mean, yeah, I wanted to talk about Rugrats, but we're not gonna have time, like, at this point.
That's cool. I mean, whatever you want to talk about last, we can do.
All right. Well, let's see what we can power through. Technically, if we go by our normal standards, we got like 10 minutes.
I think it's really funny that Sonic the Hedgehog is on here. I wrote about this for work a little bit.
All right, well, we'll keep it quick and brief. Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a live action movie again. They keep on trying to pitch this idea.
It's a live action animation hybrid.
Yeah, which
so it's gonna be like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I was gonna say it's gonna be like no, it's not gonna be as good as that.
Exactly like Who Framed Roger Rabbit in every way. It's gonna be extremely good, just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
And they're like, oh yeah, of course. And it's gonna have like Amy Rose come out and start singing like in a sexy dress.
Oh
like what?
Okay, that would be fucking amazing. Okay.
Okay, to be fair, Jessica Rabbit was the best part of that movie, but
yeah, actually, if they did Sonic, okay, that would be ripping off our shitty idea that we're probably never gonna make. If they set Sonic,
we'll make our own fan film. But anyway, so it's
a lot of Sonic fan film that we're never gonna make. So anyway, the Sega stole our idea.
Pretty much. Thanks, Sega. Stop stealing everyone else's ideas, blaming other people like Nintendo and commercials.
Oh my God.
So I guess it's getting its own live action show. I don't know what it's going to be about. It kind of sounds like it would have a similar premise to Sonic X, the anime, where Sonic goes into the real world, except it's not anime. Like, yep. And I don't know how this is going to work out.
Sonic shows.
I'll
say that.
Well, yeah, I know. There's actually a fan film out there that's a half live action, half animation hybrid of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's really good. I don't know what it's called. Just YouTube it. It will pop up. So anyway, I don't know how to feel about this. I just want to talk about it. And
I'm probably going to see it. I mean, I'll see it. If there's a Sonic movie, I'll see it.
I'll see it with you. Would you also see this Battlestar Galactica movie that's rebooting?
So.
I mean, is it actually going to happen? Like, that's the real question.
Probably not. I mean, this movie has been in development hell for years. Like, ever since the reboot of Battlestar came out with the correct version of Starbuck in it. Ever since that version of the show came out, when it ended, they signed on Bryan Singer from X-Men actually to do a movie of it. Yep. And then he left the project 2 years ago because I think he realized it was never going to happen.
Probably not. I mean, why? They've already made like some mini movies that you can just get that's set in like the TV universe. So
yeah,
I mean,
plus they did like a spin-off prequel called Caprica that no one watched. Like Battlestar has tried to continue for a little while. Like they've done some stuff. But it hasn't really been successful. So apparently,
it really hasn't. Let's just assume it's not going to happen because I mean,
trying to make this movie happen. I don't know that I care anymore. Like that show went to some weird places. I really loved it when it started, and then I just had to fall off the wagon. And I tried to rewatch it, and then I fell off the wagon at the exact same spot. You know the spot where I fall off the wagon? The
season 2.
Come back, and there's a huge time jump, and all of a sudden, everybody is either fat or has long hair, and they're like, "Isn't this funny?" I'm like, no, it's stupid and weird, and I hate it, and I don't like that it's happening.
It kind of gets more.
There's really a character that they put in a fat suit, and they're like, time passed, and now this character's fat. Isn't that funny? And I'm like, no, Battlestar Galactica, it's not funny. It's weird. Don't do what you're doing. You're making.
I mean, it keeps getting weirder, and like I don't.
Yeah,
I've never
where
actually.
I stop every time. Is that
I've
part.
never actually finished the original series
Don't.
because no,
I've heard what the ending is. It's stupid.
I was rewatching the whole thing with Ben. He was like, "We need to watch all of Battlestar Galactica. It's great." And then like
it is
like
great for the first season.
Before the end, Ben goes, "We don't need to watch the rest," and then put it away.
Ben's correct. Ben is honestly correct. He did the right thing for you. I have cosplayed as multiple characters from that show, and I've never finished it.
Oh, I know.
I'm a huge fan of like the first season and a half. I think they're great.
Yeah, they are really great.
That's how I feel about that show.
Starbuck and Number 6 are great.
That's who I cosplayed as. I cosplayed as Starbuck, and I cosplayed as Number 6. And
I was like, Maddy, cosplay as characters. They're like, I already have. Don't worry.
I know. I had to be Number 6 for a show that we did. Anyway, that's not
we're not
going
to go there.
Yeah.
I am going to talk about these last two things really quick. The Avengers Academy game came out, which people have been like all building up for because it's an Avengers game. It's a straight to tablet iPhone type of game. I have it on my Droid, and it's basically like, you know, a Simpsons tapped out game except with the Avengers, and everyone is ragging on it. They're like, they could have made a creative game that would have been really good, and like instead we get this Simpsons tapped out clone. I keep on reading about this, and I keep on thinking, first of all, Simpsons tapped out is a clone of that stupid elf game that nobody remembers. And also, it's like there are so many games that Marvel's putting out for the phones right now that are great. There's like a fighting game, and then there's like also this like MMO game, and it's like, I'm like, what do you guys want? Like, they literally release a new game like every 4 months.
Also,
like,
it's a phone game. Like,
also, I'm like, it's made for children. Like, I'm like, they're like, why are they talking like this? They're teenagers. I'm like, it's made for kids. Like,
yeah,
give it to your kids to play or enjoy it. Like, stop complaining about this
also,
game.
There's
like,
so many other Marvel games. Like, there's the Lego Marvel games. There's two Lego Marvel games that you can play right now that just came out. There's the Lego Marvel Avengers, and then a different one, Lego Superheroes or something. That also has Marvel characters, and like that's multiple Marvel games that you can play. Also, kind of kid friendly, but the Lego games are pretty funny. Like,
they are, and I don't know, and it's like
there's
so many
official Marvel video game. It would be fucking terrible. Like every single Spider-Man game that's come out has been awful,
dude. And it's also like Marvel is making so much stuff right now since it was all bought out by Disney, and like it had, because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's so much product coming out, which is great. And it's like, I find it funny that people are spending so much time like hyper focusing on this, but I'm like, this is like, and I'm just kind of like, this is not the problems that Marvel is having in the cinema universe right now.
Yeah,
like, there's like plenty of other issues we can.
The market. There's so much Marvel stuff out there right now.
Yeah.
We have a wealth.
You can find something else you'll like. It's gonna be okay. But staying on the topic of Marvel, our last point today that
Ryan's
the morning news.
With this.
Oh my god, I like made you write about it. I was like, I sent it to you like the day before you
like,
went
okay,
into write.
Maddie, this is out. You're gonna cover it as soon as you wake up tomorrow.
And then she did. It was great.
All right, I did. Fine, I will.
So basically,
other people covered it too. I wasn't the only one.
There was a YouTube video that came out forever ago that was like a Dazzler 80s parody music video from the X-Men.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that same group
So
went
it's
back.
like Allison Blair, who is Dazzler, and she's like walking around inviting people to her synth pop show, and then at the end of the video is,
I mean, it's basically Maddie, but as a mutant. That's exactly what's happening.
Somebody made a video about me. It's weird.
I
Anyway.
know, and like they even like cast you. It says, "Here's Maddie Myers."
Yeah, I'm not actually in it that bad. So.
They made a sequel to that is with Lila Cheney, who's sort of like this
lesser known fictional rock star in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and she's like this space pirate that like has powers, and she like can teleport around and stuff, and like she's a rock star. Yeah, she's great. I actually really like her. I think she's hilarious.
Yeah, she's cool. So like they made a video where somebody like in character as Lila Cheney is singing a song that was written
with Dazzler, and it opens up with the New Mutants from the 80s all
like
going to the
leaving
show.
his school together.
Oh my God. And it's so great because they try to get in and they are immediately rejected because they're like, minors can't get in this show. Oh my God. But and so they turn around and it's like this perfect comic book mutant moment though, where they're like all discussing which power is going to like break the show. And I'm like, and they're just like, they get in normally, but like they sit there and like showing their fireballs and stuff. I'm like, this is so New Mutants. It is so good. And then the music video itself is like really great. And I'm like, both Ben and I were like, excuse me, Ben and I were like, if they made a New Mutants movie like this or a TV show, it would be great. Of course, it's not how they would make anything, but like,
no, it isn't. But they are like, kind of doing something like that with the reboot, well, sort of reboot-ish thing that they're doing with X-Men, because they're making all the characters young again, and they're like gonna have teenagers doing stuff, which is more the spirit of New Mutants, although it's not. New. It's the same sort of idea, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a really great music video, and I've watched it a bunch of times. And if you're like somebody that is a fan of the X-Men, I definitely recommend this because I feel like it does a better job of kind of understanding like the X-Men universe.
Also, the video is super good.
Yeah, I rewatched that yesterday too.
I kind of like that one better just because I really liked the plot of it a lot. Because it's, I don't know.
It's you. It was cast about you. It's called Maddie Myers the Musical.
I know. So like, it's no surprise that I watched the Dazzler one. I was like, this is awesome. But Ryan's more into the Lila Cheney one. But there's two videos. They're both really great. So it's worth watching both of them.
All right, so we will not have time for throwback today, guys. I don't know how that happened. We started on time for once.
Well, yeah, but we talked about ourselves for half an hour, like always.
I mean, that's true. I mean, although we're
gonna complain, they always complain.
Nobody's complained yet.
Okay, no, people do dislike our videos. I count that as a complaint.
Okay, people hit like thumbs down on everything, though. It's stupid.
Whatever. Haters.
Gotta hate.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's promise this. When you come back from Switzerland, we'll do like an extensive throwback on Rugrats, which is good because like,
or we could do a multiple throwbacks.
Oh no, this is actually perfect because when you're in Switzerland, you can watch Rugrats on Hulu.
Okay.
And I'll watch it on Hulu.
Except Zach is going to be like, why are we watching this? And
he might love it. I don't know.
Zach, we need to watch Rugrats for my show.
He might actually be into it. Let's just pitch the idea and see what he says.
Okay. I don't think he's going to be into it. I don't know.
Do you want to talk food? It's Skye's recipe corner.
Oh my gosh. Do we have a recipe from Skye or we don't?
We do. She gets it to me like days ahead of time. She's on top of her shit.
There was no reader mail this week. That was a lie. We have a Skye recipe.
I don't count that as reader mail anymore.
Okay, I kind of
yeah, I was gonna say like we usually have like the Mary Ellen segment too, where she sends us like troll mail, but she's asleep and sick, so that's not happening.
Understandable. Best wishes, Mary Ellen.
But anyway, so Skye sent us a she sent us I believe it was an omelet recipe. And if we're doing omelets, I think we should all talk about our favorite omelets. But we'll start with Skye's because she always has the best recipes. So.
It's true. Skye actually puts a lot more effort into cooking than I probably
or me.
And I think Skye is like, maybe they'll make my recipes one day. But actually, when I make lunch, I'm like, what can I make in 5 minutes out of ingredients I already have?
I know, that's exactly what I do too. And it's like a little out of control.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I could probably stand to have fancier ingredients on hand than what I usually have. I usually just have like super basic stuff, so I don't make anything fancy.
Yeah,
but that's not bad. As long as I'm eating, I'm doing a good job.
I just stir fry everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's pretty much what my omelet recipe is. Like, instead of doing an omelet, I just do a scramble because omelets require flipping. So I'm just gonna dice everything up and throw it in a pan.
That's what I do if I go to the diner. But let's do Skye's first, and then we'll talk about what we like. Like, you know, for
okay,
omelet stuff. I mean, if it's an omelet, I'll eat it no matter what, as long as there's no meat in there. So
yeah.
But so anyway, so she wanted to mix things up a little bit, and she wanted to do breakfast, which is fine with me. She said there's so many things you can do with omelets. There's the classic omelet du fromage, popularized by Cartoon Network cartoons Dexter's Lab. And famously, Will Wright got the idea for Sim Ant while eating a Denver omelet. Just kidding. So anyhow, my favorite omelet is one that's pretty good for any meal because of its heartiness. My mom calls it a Spanish omelet, but according to the internet, she's super wrong. So let's just call this a Skye family special or whatevs. You get 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 teaspoon of butter or margarine or whatever you use to keep it from sticking, half a pound of ground beef cooked into el pato sauce, or is it pedo? I don't know what that's actually called. Yeah, let's say el pato, and half a can of red beans, and cheese of your choice if desired. So you cook the ground beef, then drain, then combine with the el pato sauce and simmer for a bit before putting that off to the side. Drain the red beans into preparation as well. You crack open those eggs into a mixing bowl or stoneware cereal bowl and stir them up with a whisk or fork to fold in the water. I don't know why I always read these. I always like trip over my words. Adding water to eggs when done properly can get you the perfect consistency for omelets. Get out your 10-inch skillet and slap that puppy over.
So specific.
Slap that puppy over a medium-high heat flame with a butter, etc. inside. When things are hot, pour the egg mixture in there, and if there are certain sections that are hotter, move the cooked parts to the cold parts with your spatula. Wait, what? Okay, this is me not knowing how to cook. Once things are pretty cooked, go ahead and put the beef, beans, and cheese on one half and then fold over the other half. Once things look nice and brown on the outside, but not too brown, get that omelet on a plate and serve with Tabasco or whatever you desire. And she also adds, when I was young, I often was frustrated by my omelet results. Watch some videos, try out some great omelet recipes, and just get in that practice. Eventually, you'll be able to make excellent, beautiful omelets that will impress your family and friends. Unless they're allergic to eggs.
Just date Zach, who makes great omelets.
You missed her pun.
I did not. Excellent. I did not.
No, that was not it.
That was one.
She goes,
excellent
that will impress your family and friends unless they're allergic to eggs. I thought it was pretty great.
I'm not allergic to eggs, thank God, because I eat eggs constantly.
Me too. And this actually sounds good. I wouldn't do it with ground beef, but I'd do it with like a vegetarian substitute. So
yeah, you could pretty much put whatever in there. Omelets are awesome.
I like, if I'm going to have an omelet, I do like it with whatever veggies are around, particularly peppers and broccoli. But if we go to the diner, you know that my go-to is always getting the veggie omelet and then one pancake on the side. So
yep, one pancake or
just
one waffle if you're me.
Yeah,
I usually get just one pancake too, because at a diner, a pancake is like the size of your entire torso. So I can finish one pancake.
I know, right?
It depends on the diner, of course.
I think we do more diner visits whenever Gita's around, and we're like, let's go to the diner. It's great.
Although I would go to a diner anytime.
I would too, but I just don't that often anymore.
I don't have anybody who would go to a diner with me because I'm like, Zach, let's go to the diner. And he's like, I'll just make you breakfast. And I'm like, well...
That's actually a good idea. That's what Ben does too.
What if I want to eat a big stack of pancakes? And
he's like, I can make those.
And he's like, what if I stir fry some spinach? And I'm like, oh, fine.
Well, you know what? At least Zach has got the right idea. We're the weirdos.
I know.
We're like, we could go spend more money on this like more greasy food.
This like thing that's gonna make me feel like shit an hour later.
Yeah, not even like 2 seconds later, maybe.
Oh, fine.
What do you like to put in your omelets?
I mean, like, actually, we do put spinach and stuff here. Usually Zach picks everything, and he picks all the healthy stuff. Like, he'll stir fry some bell peppers and spinach and chopped onions, and like we do sausage also here, like turkey sausage. We'll just like throw in some turkey sausage slices, which is really good. But you wouldn't do that.
No.
And then also just eggs, obviously. I don't really like cheese that much in an omelet because I'm weird. I'll eat it. I'll eat it if somebody makes me one. But like, if I'm making an omelet myself, I'm not that
weird. I like cheese in my onion.
The combination of cheese and eggs to me makes the eggs taste rubbery, which I don't like. I'd rather just have eggs be eggs.
I like just like melting the cheese on top of it. Well, mostly I like it more when it's like
I love
scrambled
cheese.
Eggs.
I love cheese and I love eggs. But if you put them together, I'm like, why are these together? Guys, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I can't explain this. Anyway, what do you put in your omelets? Did you already say? You already said bell peppers earlier. So
oh my God, I did. Maddie, you're losing focus here.
I know. Well, it's because I'm like 15 minutes late to work and I'm.
All right, let's close out because. So as a reminder, we will not be doing a show next week unless I decide to do a guest. But maybe I'll want a week off, so we'll see.
Yeah, Ryan needs a vacation too.
And we're gonna come back and we'll have a lot to talk about, but we will make sure to give you an extra long throwback section on Rugrats, which is good because I feel like that may require maybe a little bit more.
We'll just do like updates about what the fuck we did and then throwbacks and like skip.
And then just like all Rugrats.
And just 100% Rugrats.
All Nickelodeon shows, sure. Nickelodeon All Stars. You can find us at Atomic Blue. Oh my god, I can't talk. This cold, man, it's fucking me up.
You can find us at atomicblueproductions.com. That's
and
great.
on our YouTube channel, which is also Atomic Blue Productions.
YouTube.com/Atomic Blue Productions.
That is our home base, or you can subscribe to this.
You can subscribe to this channel if you want to watch the full episodes every week, which are like an hour of bullshit. Or you can go to Atomic Blue Production and subscribe there, where Ryan takes out the best 5 to 10 minutes of the show every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you prefer that,
download the podcast on iTunes.
Yeah, we have an iTunes finally.
Well, it's more like it came back. They fixed it finally. So
they did fix
you
it.
can go there, or you can download it.
I don't know that very many people listen to the audio only version.
They do. I can actually prove that they do, but we'll have that conversation.
Not a ton, but still, I know there's some people who do, and those people are probably very happy that the iTunes feed is back.
Yes, and then you can also follow us on Twitter at Atomic Blue Prod, or at Facebook at Atomic Blue Productions, and we have a Tumblr
like
too.
Individually,
whichever social media is the best way for you to keep track of us. We have an Instagram, which I just started using again to do behind the scenes kind of stuff of Atomic Blue, because nobody really wants announcements on Instagram. I find that kind of obnoxious. So I kind of post like what we're doing there.
That's good, because Instagram is the next Twitter. So I'm glad we're getting on the ground floor.
And you can find us there. You can find us on Twitter just individually, which is Dr. Yoshi2 and Sama's Clone. And Maddie's got to go to work.
Yeah,
so
I gotta go to work. This is like the longest show we've had in a really long time. Like, we started earlier and ended way later. I don't know.
And we had a lot to cover. I cut stuff out.
Okay.
So we didn't even hit throwback. Whatever. I'm having a good day. So
yeah, it's all good. All right, I gotta go to work.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye, guys.